breaking news after dropping and demolishing the national championship trophy. JD Vance decided to one-up himself
and drop and demolish the Catholic leader of the world.
Because JD Vance was the last. You know when somebody dies, and they're like, "Who's the last person that we saw you with?"
We're no longer calling him Jizz Dumpster. His name is Just Deaf.
Oh shit! All right.
Just Deaf Vance. Because when he met the Pope, all he brought was just death.
He said, just die.
I do feel bad for the Pope like that.
Yeah, I mean, for JD Vance being the last person you see before death, I'm like, God, can you give me a do-over? Like, I've been doing great my whole life. Wow. Let me run this one back.
I saw a tweet that it was like JD Vance did not kill the Pope.
His haircut?
The Pope saw JD Vance and lost his will. they're like,
wow. He's
slight difference.
Yo, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy to me?
Oh, what's crazy to you?
This nigga actually has children.
Yeah.
Like, JD Vance actually procreated.
Well, we don't remember.
Yeah. Well, couches can't give birth.
He called the children her children.
Right.
So he didn't say our children.
Right.
He said her children. So are those actually the progeny of JD Vance? We don't
know.
Yo,
this nigga can't nut through a chastity belt.
Wow.
She got him bound up, man.
Wow.
I mean, killing the Pope goes along a long history of destabilizing religious leaders when it comes to
Miracle.
Western imperialism. But we're going to stay with the jokes, right? This idea of the fact that, like,
maybe he is the Jizz Dumpster after all.
Or is he the Antichrist? Like, was JD Vance the Antichrist?
Well, we thought it was Trump the whole time. Meanwhile, it was JD Vance back there.
It's crazy.
Nutting in couches.
I think it's sad because he obviously used his platform to do a lot.
The Pope?
That was for the Pope. The Pope used his platform to do a lot of good in the world.
And see what that got him.
Man.
Face to face to JD Vance, but just Deaf Vance. Hey, give it a fuck when it ain't your turn, Pope Francis.
Also, I do like the fact that the Pope, like, when you look at the pictures, they're not in the office.
No.
Like
the Pope was with the people.
The Pope was like, bring that nigga through this hallway.
The Pope said he had a lesson in compassion for JD Vance.
The Pope didn't stand up. Like, the Pope was like, nah, bro, you come here.
I'm the Pope, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, kiss the ring.
No, but I was going to say, like, did...
Somebody said JD Vance can't be the Antichrist. The Antichrist is supposed to be charismatic.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Miracle.
I'm going to say the Pope did a lot of things, restoring the Catholic Church.
Yes.
After, the fact that they were caught,
yes.
harming children, violating
for decades.
children,
for decades.
Really went down and tried to
went down is a terrible choice of words.
Wow.
Terrible.
Next package.
Right. But
next package is even worse.
No, he also, like you said, the Pope was a strong, very outspoken advocate for immigrants.
Yes.
Supposedly during this meeting with JD Vance, he talked about America's horrible policies towards immigrants.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, Trump is in complete defiance of the Supreme Court and openly defying it, right? Openly saying, like, the rule of law doesn't exist, but just how immigrants are being treated. They also said that, the Pope was also an advocacy for a ceasefire in the Middle East. They were saying that, he would talk to the Catholic priests in Gaza like every day. And he also in his finals address talked about that. Advocating for like the safety of children everywhere. So the Pope himself was, I guess this was the first Latino Pope, I believe.
Pope Francis. Yeah.
Right. And so he was somebody that, like Miracle said, did use his platform.
Mm-hmm.
The Pope gives you kind of a bully pulpit to talk about, things that we should do to help poor people all over what is a Christian is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's like, here is, JD Vance represents like a new Christian concept, like this Christian nationalism.
Would you mean white supremacists?
100%, right? And so Pope probably looked like, damn, this is the next generation of Christians. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
But
take me to Jesus right now.
It's interesting because as the Pope is gone, we have somebody who's already occupying office looking to have two at the same time.
Well, I think that the question, right, obviously when the Pope passed, and I don't know if did anybody else have any comments or
more
thoughts
jokes
on the Pope? No, like actually thoughts on like the Pope passing. It is, I mean, obviously.
I think anytime you see, because how many popes have we seen in our lifetime?
I can't call it.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Has it been a lot?
With that religion.
Yeah. I think though, but it is sad because he has done so much, and I think the Pope prior to him was in the Nazi party, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
He did belong to the Nazis at some point. But this Pope was a true humanitarian Pope. Hopefully we don't hear anything about his scandals like Mother Teresa or something like that. But, he did a lot to amplify humanitarian efforts on the globe.
Yes.
And, may God be pleased with him. May God be pleased with the Pope, Pope Francis.
Yes. They said Trump is
Seemed
going
like
to
a solid nigga to me.
Trump is going to attend his funeral.
Why?
To make sure that JD Vance did his job.
Oh, wow.
Trump got to see the body.
Trump is going to knock the casket over.
You got to make sure, like, yo, did you do what you're supposed to? And again, like like JD Vance being like the most awkward, like weird. I don't know. It's
does this make JD Vance like Antoine Chigurh in No Country for Old Men?
He definitely. That's his kind of his piece. Yeah.
I feel like moving forward, people probably shouldn't shake his hand.
No one should ever touch JD Vance under
Yeah.
any circumstance. His wife don't even want to touch him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I bet you every couch in the Oval Office has plastic on it.
Oh shit.
Like when JD Vance come around.
Hey, that's just protection of him.
For whatever reason, Trump said Melania and I are going to the funeral of Pope Francis. We look forward to being there with an exclamation point.
Wow.
That's kind of weird. But like you said, like
Trump's gonna be like, put that nigga in the dirt now.
Yeah. It said,
6 feet isn't enough.
Oh wow. The question is who's going to replace the Pope?
We already know who.
Well, it's interesting because,
it's a race.
MAGA would, and to be honest, like MAGA would want to see President and Pope Trump. Like, so Trump is basically the MAGA of the Pope of MAGA already.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they don't look at him as a political figure. They look at him as a religious figure, like a figure to idolize and worship. Is
you know what? And
exactly
it's
how they
crazy
look at him.
because there is a specific part of the Bible where Aaron and Moses are on the mountain. And Moses goes to get the commandments from God. And he leaves Aaron in charge of the people. And what happens? They are upset with Aaron and God and create a golden calf statue and say, you know what? We like the old way better.
Yeah.
And then God was pissed. And what happened just a few years ago at the Republican National Convention in 2019? People created a golden Trump statue.
Yes.
That was made in Mexico.
It was also interesting because Butch Body Bigot, who we, y'all call her Marjorie Taylor Greene. I call her Butch Body Bigot. Actually tweeted out.
Mayonnaise Taylor Greene.
She tweeted out there were major shifts in global leadership. Evil is being defeated by the hand of God.
Like is JD Vance God?
Moments
is that
after
what she's saying?